Bill resolved to return to Scab Picton for the night. He had spent last night tied in a wooden cot, and the night before that drinking with a dragon and riding a pig through the forest in his sleep, and he intended to sleep in a bed that night. When he reached Scab Picton, it was 4 of the clock. Fred was at the gate this time and told Bill that they'd let him into the palace if he said Tom sent him. When he arrived at the castle, a very worried-looking Lord Crustington was waiting for him. "Here you are at last! We were worried!" The words "sorry, mother" came into Bill's head, but he decided it would be better not to give them voice. "I had an encounter with the necromancer." "Really? You're lucky to be alive." "Lucky me. We shall have a tournament in your honor." Bill swore to himself he'd never been very athletic, and the next thing he wanted now was to practice violence with Scab Picton's best armored heavyweight oafs. The tournament was to be the following morning, and that night there was a huge feast. There he sat, at the right of the Lord, with the finest food and wine, with harpers and bards singing songs about him doing heroic things no one in their right mind would do, surrounded by such splendor, and all he wanted was sleep. If he had been more awake, he would have overheard the conversation between Lord Crustington and his steward. "If he's even brave enough to contemplate that dragon, he'll triumph over that big galoot Sir Vomlet."
"Your lordship, they say he's not very athletic."
"Not very athletic. He killed the dragon. He killed it through alcohol poisoning." "Balderdash, he's a hero." "Certainly he's a hero. He just won't win the joust. Unless..." "Unless what?" "Unless we give him winning conditions." "How?" "If we slipped something into the night's wine, perhaps." "All right, see to it." "Yes, Lord." By 9 in the morning, all was ready. Bill felt rested but nervous. He didn't like tournaments. He always lost to those more athletic than himself, and almost everyone was. The knight were in a much different state. Some were dazed, many still drunk, all of them hung over, and none of them in a state to fight. The tournament grounds were dotted with pavilions. The knights donned their armor and mounted. The first joust was between Sir Couchant d'Almond and Sir Philip of Trundlebug. Trundlebug was the victor, and Bill was against him next. He rode out onto the field high atop his war sow, which he still hadn't exchanged for a horse. The trumpet sounded the charge, and they came together with a mighty force. But at the critical moment, for no reason Bill could understand, Sir Philip's lance went about 3 feet wide of his head. Bill did a little better, catching Sir Philip's shoulder and throwing him off balance. He then smote him hard with the flat of his sword, throwing him of his horse. He had dismounted his opponent, and therefore was victorious, and advanced to the next round. He was against Sir Sigmund of Tarpit. He wore all black armor, rode a black horse, and had a huge black moustache. Take a guess what color his banner was. Bill was terrified. His last victory was pure luck, and now he was up against a competitor twice his size. The trumpet sounded, and his opponent thundered toward him. When they were at close quarters, Sir Sigmund struck at Bill with his huge battle axe. But he misjudged the distance, swung too far, outbalanced himself, and toppled of his mount. Bill had triumphed again without actually doing anything. His next challenge was the dreaded Sir Vomlet of Cheese Hollow. He was clad in bright green, mounted on an orangish horse. "Bravo, Sir Omelette!" shouted a mocking voice that seemed familiar to Bill. The trumpets blared their familiar sound as the knights sped towards each other. Sir Vomlet brought his lance into play before Bill could react, dealing him quite a blow to the head. Bill reeled but held on. He retaliated by slicing Sir Vomlet's lance in two with his sword. Vomlet reached for his sword, but in the time it took him to fetch it, Bill had used his lance to put Vomlet's horse into a frenzy, bucking Sir Vomlet to the ground. Once again, Bill was the victor. The next match was between the defeated Sir Vomlet and one Sir Puddleduck of Gallusburg. Sir Puddleduck seemed more focused than the knights that day, and he also unhorsed Sir Vomlet. Somewhere in the piers, the steward was cursing to himself. "Damnation! Sir Puddleduck was absent last night. He has not been drugged." This was the final joust. Bill was up against Sir Puddleduck. The trumpets blew for the 100th time that day. They thundered towards each other fast and hard. When they met, Sir Puddleduck's lance broke on Bill's shield, but he recovered quickly and smote Bill hard with his mace, almost dismounting him. He followed up with 6 more similar assaults. Bill was barely conscious when his pig took the initiative, rearing on its hind legs and butting Sir Puddleduck from his saddle. Bill was champion, thanks to the steward. They had another feast that night. This time, Bill enjoyed it throughly. He tried to spot the owner of the voice that had mocked Sir Vomlet, the one he had recognized. As he glanced around the table, his eyes settled on the steward. He was familiar. Where have I seen him before? Thought Bill to himself. No, it can't be, but it is. After, when everyone had left the table, he approached the steward in private. Well, fancy meeting you here. Chester? I didn't think you would notice. Why aren't you in Puss Bubble Castle?
This is my daytime job.
How do you know? I'm wearing respectable clothing. My face isn't painted up to look like a chicken. I'm not even acting drunk. The Sir Omelette crack gave it away. Bill departed the following morning. He decided to keep the pig, as it had won the tournament for him. He had about a week between him and his wedding. He was going to search for the jester to find out his shortcut. He made it back to Puss Bubble before dinner every day to entertain the fatheads at court. He was unable to find him, so he spent the night and departed at dawn.
Just 2 chapters left of this story, hoping to have everything wrapped up by the end of September in time for the Halloween season. I want to say a big thank you to all of my incredible Patreon supporters, everyone whose names you can see going up the screen right now. Particular thanks to Andre D, Banana Fish, Metamorph, Michael Fattori, Wathquin, and Zanazira. If you want to see your own name up here, it's as little as $1 a month on Patreon, all kinds of other cool perks at higher levels. In the meantime, please support your local library. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being you.